I'm now starting to add colour to my piece of work. So I've got this next to me so that I can see it. I have got my colours all sorted, so I've got a light blue, a navy, a brown, a purple, a green, a yellow and a pink. And I will use all of these, but I'll kind of talk you through how I'm going to do it. I'm going to speed up my process because it's going to be really boring to watch otherwise. And I will talk you through what I am doing while I do it. I start off using the light blue to draw out the shapes of the kind of flower that's around the iris. I do get it wrong, so at this point I got it wrong and I started to press on a little bit harder so that I could see where my right shapes were. I also use that light blue to draw in the highlight so that I don't go over it. Then, like we did in practice, I drew a nice thick line around the iris, and I actually used 3 colours to do that. So I used a combination of the brown, the navy and the purple, and that was just to make it darker. Then I used the directional shading that we practiced on the eye to colour in the blue flower part, and every time I'm using colour on the eye I am using that directional shading. So I'm shading from the middle out or from the outside in, but I'm always shading in a circle. So it just helps the eye take shape. Then I have used a navy blue to go around each of the sections of the middle of the eye and just define them and add in some shading. I'm then looking at my picture. I'm constantly looking at my picture, but I'm looking at my picture and seeing the bits that are a bit darker, and I added purple into those. So here I'm doing it again. I'm using that purple just to add in that dark bit. And again, I'm always using that directional shading. So I am shading towards the middle. It's quite tricky to do sometimes, but you can see that my hand is kind of orientating itself so that I can do that. Any of the darker areas, I used a combination of purple, blue and brown to create that really, really dark colour. If you use black, it tends to go a bit flat. So it's only after I've done most of the other stuff that I start adding that yellow in, and that's just because, as we know, yellow and blue make green, and I don't want my eye to turn out green, so I need to be really careful about where I put the yellow. You will notice as well that I've also left the highlights in, and then just to make the highlights more obvious, I've gone around them in a blue pen. Not blue pen, blue pencil. Apologies. And then I just start doing around the eye as well. So doing a little bit of shading and really, really looking at it, because when you look at the picture, you can see that you can kind of see the top of the bottom lid. So bottom lash line, sorry. So you want to kind of leave a lighter gap where there is the bottom lash line, but then you've got shading underneath. And then you want to add in that shadow at the top and start adding in the shadow of the lashes. We're not going to put eyelashes on at this stage. Eyelashes are going to be the last thing that we do, so please do not draw them on, just because they are really complicated. But you want to try and get those shadows in. And then the final thing I did was I went in the middle with a yellow just around the centre, with a yellow and a brown, to add in sort of a bit of colour and tone to the pupil, because if you look really carefully there's a little yellow ring around it, before I coloured it in black. And I also added a shadow around the eyeball as well, very carefully, in light blue. And then this is the final thing. So I've added in a little bit more shadow and just went back into it with a darker pencil. But this is what you should be ending up with.